Okay, is it started? So, hey, it's nice to meet you. Um, I'm either your dad, your husband, or one of your friends, or your brother. And I guess you already know my name, but in case you don't, my name's Kian. And I'm recording this video on my 24th birthday here on the big island of Hawaii, where I live with my parentals, still at 24, which is lit. Highly recommend if you got cool parents like I do. And yeah, I yesterday was just having breakfast with my brother Kai, or I should just say Kai. Yeah, Kai's my brother, which you also know. But I was having breakfast with Kai, and we had this idea to start posting daily vlogs, videos. Doesn't have to be every day, but basically some kind of video to where we all post, Kai, Isla, and I, my sister Isla, to this same channel to talk about our lives and the things that we find interesting and the things that we want to explore. And also, I guess, in other terms, just what we are doing in our days, because we at this point live in 3 different places. I live in Hawaii, Kai lives in Bend, Oregon, and Isla, is based in Eugene, Oregon for school, but is also going to be in Barcelona this summer, amongst other places. And so yeah, I think with that I can just get on to what would I want my future self, my future kids, my future family and friends to know? Well, I just graduated college. I got a bachelor's degree in global studies, which I have said to many people many times. I went to basically the coolest college that could possibly exist, where I lived and studied and traveled to more than 30 countries throughout my 3.5 years of school. Weird story, I'll get into that another time. But yeah, basically took some time off in the middle, which then ultimately led to 5 years of total time from start to end, but only 3.5 years of semesters of school. And I was based in Europe for 3 semesters. I was based in Australia for 2 semesters, Indonesia for 1 semester, in Bali, which is one of my favorite places in the world beyond Hawaii. And then lastly to New York, where I lived in Brooklyn for a semester, which was quite the change of pace, but actually a very cool place to live. So now I am back home in Hawaii, which is always the best thing in the world. Because I didn't grow up here, it still feels like a vacation every time I get to come home. I'm like, I'm in Hawaii. Like, I still have that feeling of like the first time that I came here for a vacation for a week with my family when I was, I don't know, young, in 5th grade or something. But let's see. Where was I going with this? Yeah, I hope the wind is okay. I'm at a big transitional phase of my life where I'm out of school. I am not currently making money. I would like to make money, hopefully a lot of it, and ultimately do something that I feel passionate about, feel interested in, and something that provides me location and time freedom, which I know are really big, what's the word? I'm quite the optimist, as I'm sure you know or will soon know. And I like to dream big and think that anything is possible until proven otherwise. And I think it would be cool to be able to live a transient life and bounce around to different places, ultimately just to live in cool places with cool people. And that can be done in a lot of places, as I've learned throughout my time traveling to many places. I've learned that what makes a space special is the people in that space. And so that doesn't mean that I like find a place and then just have to stay there because the people are special, but like, I don't know, there's just so many people in the world and there's so much experience to be had that I feel, I don't know, I love people. I love all of the cool things that you can do, or like I love all of the what travel and moving and exploring provides to me is just like connection to so many types of people that you would otherwise never get to meet, opens you to new worldviews and all the things. Wow, I'm jumping all over the place on these, on this, but yeah, essentially, location and time freedom. I'd like to be able to build a life that I feel suits me and is true to my desires and what I want to do in life, which ultimately is connect with people and live a healthy and connected life and do things that impact people and are fun. I mean, who doesn't want to live a fun life, of course? But yeah, so again, back to what I was saying when I was walking over there. I'm at a transitional stage in my life between school and the real world where I got to be providing for myself, which is like kind of right on the fucking horizon. I mean, I'm 24. There's a lot of things that need to happen throughout the next year or handful of years in order to, there's a lot of things that need to happen regardless. Like I am an adult, but I am going to be further have increased responsibility in ways that I yet haven't, such as providing for myself. So I think it's an interesting time in my life to make videos such as this, where I'm dumping my thoughts exactly like this. You know, like I don't know what I just said in the past 6 minutes and 45 seconds, but I'm sure it makes some sense, some part of it. And yeah, so what do I want to do? What do I hope for in these next years of my life? Hopefully many, many years. You know, I could be less than a quarter of the way through my life. Like if freaking advances in technology continue the way that they are, like who knows, maybe 100 is going to become the new average and it'll be normal. And so like I'm 24, 96, I'll be like, oh, I'm chilling. I still got 24 more years left. Like who knows? Or maybe we'll have fucking reversed aging by then with Brian Johnson's blueprint stuff. You know, I don't know. I'm optimistic for the future. I mean, I'm optimistic for myself and my life, but I'm also optimistic for the world. And amidst all of the shit that fills the internet, I think there's some good out there too. That's also part of what, oh fuck, I just stepped on something really sharp. Can I swear in this? Yeah, I think we're gonna probably swear in this. I'll ask Kai. That's part of what my degree in living in different parts of the world has really taught me, was that there are good people everywhere. There are people working on making the world a better place everywhere. And yes, sure, there can be bad people in places too, but I think the good outshines the bad, even though unfortunately what we see on our screens is a lot of the bad. So that said, okay, I keep jumping around, but I'm gonna probably stop pointing to that because I think that's just part of speaking out of my mind as a human being on this earth, in the solar system, in the galaxy, in the universe, in the multiverse. You get the point. What do I want to do? Well, there's a few things. I mean, my biggest interests at this point in my life are, one, spending time with people that I love. And like, sure, that might be a cop-out, but I just think like connection, authentic connection, as I would call it, is probably like the most fulfilling thing. Like, you know those moments where you're with your friends and you just, like, there's no place you would rather be. You feel fully seen by the people that are around you. There's just not a doubt in your mind as to whether or not these people have your backs. You feel just so understood and safe, ultimately safe. And it's like a sense of home that is because of the people that you are with, not the space that you are in. And I crave that, and I love that, and I am blessed to have that often in my life. But that's number one. I think next is that I love, well, actually what came to mind is I love learning. Like, I don't think that I will ever want to stop learning, whether that's languages or skills or like, you know, fitness things or memorizing random shit or, I don't know, there's just so much. Or learning about the universe and physics and random softwares that are fun for me to learn. Like, there are just so many things that I find interesting in this life. And I think the point at which I stop learning is the point at which I stop growing, and is probably the point at which I die. And so hopefully that's a long time from now, because I think there's a lot to learn. Endless. And that really excites me. I would say next is, so it's like, family and community. And then, yeah, well, I love learning. But then I guess also just health is another interesting one. Like there's the mental health and the physical health. And there are the ways that I stay physically healthy and the ways that I stay mentally healthy, which kind of leads back to family. And then I would connect the physical health to the learning thing, because it's like there's this kind of personal growth that comes from time in the gym and time like learning about my body, or time climbing on a wall. Like I love rock climbing. In the past, I've done tons of bodybuilding. I do love that as well. Calisthenics. I recently got into acro yoga while I was in New York. Things like that just fill me up with so much joy. I think for me, climbing, I would say for me that just unlocks like this creativity within myself, because although there is a huge strength aspect when you climb, there's also a level of like you're solving a puzzle. There's an equation on this wall and your body can solve that. Plus your body plus your brain, which I guess is part of your body, can solve that if you do it correctly. And so there's this constant learning and like literally studying that you can do on a specific route on a wall that is just such a level of, I don't know, meditation. And then with bodybuilding for me, that is getting fully into my body to pay attention to like what my muscle is feeling at a given moment, and how, bugs, there's lots of bugs in Hawaii, how depending on how I think about the muscle and how I move the muscle, it will influence how I work that muscle, and then how that muscle is stimulated and either grows or gets stronger, or all of the above. And that's another type of meditation. And then lastly, or not lastly, but for me, acro yoga is another kind of mix of the two. It's like there's this strength, there's this meditative aspect to it, and then the biggest thing for acro is that it's like it's partner acrobatics. And so you're doing things with other people that are allowing, like you are connecting with other people. I have laughed more than I have more consistently with acro yoga than I have with anything else, because you are constantly getting to fail and laugh at yourself and learn. And you also get to use your body in a very physical way that is just good and fun. And yeah, I don't have another word for it besides that. And then I guess like free diving would be another form of that meditation sort of thing, where it just feels like I am fully in the present moment. Things that get me, well, it's like, I wanted to say out of my mind and into my body, but really it's like into my body, which is a part of my mind, or it's like more into my mind or something. I don't know. Yes, so that's the thing. That is a thing that I love. And then I guess I could also tie the part of the learning thing back to community and people, because I feel like the more that I know, the more that I can connect with people, the more that I can bond over a similar topic. The more languages that I have some ability to speak, at this point being, well, English, and then Indonesian to a decent level, and German to a very low level, relatively to where I want it to be, I guess. But it allows you to connect with more people. And then let's say I know a lot about science, about like space or something, or spaceships. Then I can talk to people who know about spaceships and like bond over that excitement and this joy. The more that I know about, I don't know, plants, then I can like talk to somebody who loves plants about this really interesting plant that I found and all the cool uses it has. I think it all comes back to like learning comes back to connection. The physical stuff is connection to myself. So yeah, ultimately it's all about connection, I would say. And then the other piece, so those are the things I love doing. Another thing that I've done throughout my whole life that is just kind of stayed consistent is that I am like, I don't know what adjective, I think it would be an adjective that I would want to use for this, but like crazily or something word, organized. And that is in many aspects of the way that I think and live, and like keep my room organized and keep my computer organized and all of this. But it is something that I have over time realized is not something that everybody does. Not everybody wants to be like, what's that called? Like anal retentive or something? I need to look up what that means to make sure I'm not using the wrong word there. But it's like, you know, I like things a certain way and it makes sense and it's like efficient and optimal and whatever for, I can go into that at another time of what I really think about that. But I have realized that not everybody likes doing that, and it's just something that I do for fun and do for free, but is something that could be a highly lucrative or monetizable skill, because I just naturally build systems in my everyday life that do things where I am essentially saving myself time, money, or I mean, I guess it kind of always comes back to time, on random things. And so I'll like teach myself a new skill, or teach myself a new keyboard layout that's more optimal, or I built like a finance tracker so that I could like stay on top of my expenses and know exactly what I'm spending on exactly what categories based on what works for my brain. You know, build a macro tracker that also tracks the cents per weight of the food that I consume, just random things like that. And it's like, I did that for fun, and then I'm like, wait, but this is also something that somebody would probably pay me for. And so that is kind of the direction that I want to go. I don't know what that is particularly going to be called as far as like a job title, but essentially making content, so not so dissimilar to this, where I am sharing about the things that I like doing in the realm of efficiency and optimization, with the goal of helping people save time, make more money, and hopefully build enough goodwill to want to hire me to do more of that for them. Because I don't know. But yeah, I think content in some form or another has always been something that I've been interested in, and it's just like I've always had it as a passion. Like I have a YouTube channel where I posted like travel vlogs, I posted packing tutorials, I've done, like I made videos where I like interviewed my parents about like how to talk to them about not wanting to go to college, because I used to not want to go to college and then I went. But I should now make a video update on that, maybe. No, not really. But yeah, I don't know what this is going to be, if it's going to become anything. But I guess I could probably leave it here. I don't think it matters if I like finish with something to wrap everything together. I'm at an interesting point in my life. This is an update on a bit of that. I can think of interesting topics to talk about every day, I'm sure. Interesting for myself, interesting maybe for the people that end up watching this someday. My future children, if I have those, which I probably will. My future wife, and all of the friends and community that I'm sure I will be surrounded by, and also excited to see the videos that my brother and sister, Kai and Isla, create on this channel as well, because they're really cool. So you'll meet them soon, if not already. Goodbye.